and welcome to Don't Trust the Dungeon Master. My name is Alex K, and I am that Dungeon Master. Tonight will be the long-awaited return of our first campaign, Arkelya. But before we get into the episode, there are a few things I wish to discuss. And so for starters, I would like to thank all of you for your patience in this long break that occurred. Our last broadcasted episode was number 35, and that took place a little over 2.5 years ago. A lot has happened for each of us, and surely each of you over this period of time. Back then, we didn't know it would take this long to get things going again, nor did we guess any of the big changes that have occurred to all of us. There was a real risk that this game would actually never come back, and the story would never conclude. It was a difficult decision, which predominantly stemmed from me and my DM burnout. I would like to state that the health for all the players, including the DM, is very important. Sometimes a break is very helpful. In our case, it has worked out that here we are able to resume where the story left off. But it's important that for any of you who might run into this in the future or experience it now, that you have the right and responsibility to take care of yourself. Your players and friends will understand. Part of Arkelya coming back now includes, for me, not having everything I wanted set up prepared. Events unfold recently for us that in a way helped reignite my drive to the point where I am now able to overlook personal grievances I have with my own campaign. I strive for the best product I can, and one of the ways I compensate to do this is an over-dedication on time preparing for my game. This has led to my burnout, but part of that growth for me here is accepting that everything can't be perfect, can't be prepared, and that it is the way it is, and that's just how it has to be. Hopefully you or someone else can take some assurance from my example in your own endeavors and with your own creations. The thing I really want to stress here is it's okay if your story does end. You are important, and so is your happiness. Don't sacrifice that, and don't forget that. Thank you. Now, since it has been so long, we're going to dedicate a bit of the time here, much like we did our very first broadcasted episode. So, hello, I am Alex K. My internet alias is Laris. You might hear our group refer to me in either manner, but that would be me, the DM. Let's see. We have our entire cast returning for where we last left off. So this includes Demi, Petite, Owl, DTW, Potato, and Kyle. We are very lucky and blessed that we were able to get all of the original cast back, one from the last episode. Of course, we did have a 7th member, Mike, but he did leave on a little bit prior to that. But he will not be rejoining us. But he is offering our support. Thanks, Mike. Hi. Sorry, I wrote this out and I lost my spot. Oh, okay, so now, to be able to get to our entire cast back, we did have to make some changes to our schedule. Currently, we'll be playing Arkelya on every other Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you are free and want to watch us live, please come join us at twitch.tv/Laris15. Of course, our episodes will be uploaded onto my YouTube channel for anyone that cannot catch it live. This usually occurs a couple days after the Friday. So you can, of course, access this or any of our old recorded content on youtube.com/Laris15. While you're there, feel free to check out in more detail our beginning sessions for this campaign. To let you know, episodes 1 through 4 do have an echo effect. My audio equipment was more questionable back then. If you can't tolerate it, I would recommend feeling free to skip to episode 5, titled The Corolldom. That's where that is resolved. But we also have a couple other retrofitted changes at that time when that episode aired. Also, to note, in case you're wondering, our first broadcasted and recorded episode isn't the first session of the entire campaign. We did actually have 7 sessions prior to us streaming and recording. Also, the true episode 4 was not recorded by me, unfortunately, and so you should notice an awkward skip or jump from the end of episode 3, titled Deeper and Deeper, to where the start of the broadcast episode 4, titled Throne of the World. There was a mini session we held, which was the real episode 4, but as stated previously right now, the content is not available to watch again. I apologize about this for failing to record that, but hopefully this helps clear up any confusion or any idea that you might have missed something at that period of time. You did, yes, there was a plot skip. Stuff did happen there. There's this phantom episode, unfortunately. That would mean that for everyone, this episode that's being listed as broadcasted episode 36 is technically session 44 for all of us in this Arkelya campaign. So that is quite a lot of sessions. Normally a campaign doesn't even get to session 10, and here we are, with the hiatus, but coming back into it trying to complete the last half. Much like episode 1, each of our players will have an opportunity here to share and make public some of their backstory of their character. They can view this as an introduction or reminder of their character to you and to the rest of the cast. Then this period of time, the players will also provide a rough description of how they think their character looks. While the art we have here is a great reference, sometimes it isn't quite exact what the player wants. So it's a great opportunity to just try and amend any images that are any image changes for our minds and you, the viewers' minds. After this stage, I will attempt to give a loose recap. I'm always great at those of the first half of the game, of the story. So let's see. I guess at this point we're just gonna have to pick someone at random to do this potential if you want to share your public backstory or whatever you want to share. Oh, I don't know. Let's pick on the oldest characters. How about Doma? Backstory / appearance, please.
Oh, me, my goodness.
Is that you were petite and you're B?
Backstory's a little wild, alright? So first of all, Doma's a tiefling, which is pretty goddamn rare in the world that we play in. He has pinkish skin, long horns coming out of the top of his head. He's dressed in some pretty fancy stuff since we're level 9. He's follows the god Marlesh, and his symbol is emblazoned across his shield that is somewhat magical, and he's got a really awesome sword that this little blacksmith made back in the Dan mines. Other than that, he wears, what kind of metal is it again for his chainmail? It's something fancy.
Is it? Is it just steel chainmail?
No, it's adamantine or whatever it's called.
Oh,
I don't have to do dex saves to stealth with it. Which is pretty goddamn cool.
Yeah, you have mithril chainmail that you found in the Sarath cache. I don't remember all of this, okay, but I do know what you're talking about now.
Okay, he wears that. It's very nice. He has for a tiefling that's red, he has a very green outlook on his outfit, which is pretty ironic in its own way. He follows the god of nature. His backstory is one day, for those who have heard it, he was dragged out of hell by a giant portal after many, many years of indentured servitude to whatever devil had him back then. You don't know. He got dragged through the portal with his brother and sister, and ended up in a very holy city, which was very ironic for a tiefling. He got dragged into the Order of Paladins because, well, he didn't have much choice. If he did anything else, it probably wouldn't have ended up well for him. But other than that, he ended up drawn into a war camp, and his adventure began from there. And I'm sure you're going to hear it from the recap that Lairs is going to say later.
Yeah. So was there any other major things you'd like to, public things you'd like to just kind of iterate right now about your character?
He's murdered his brother. That's great. He's in love with an angel who might not be an angel anymore.
It's just an angle now.
All right. Anything else there?
He likes carving little stone cats.
That's true. Yeah.
That he does.
He did. That took him a while. Obsidian cat. Yeah. I forgot about that.
So, for a second
and then you had an NPC going along with him, and she showed him up in a matter of hours and made this perfect little
not just any NPC. Mug. Vistra Miles, Captain Vistra Miles did that.
Yeah, Doma wasn't very happy about that someone just showed him up after years of trading masonry as a slave.
Okay, so
someone just showed him up in a window
for 10 seconds, and I seem to have missed the appearance part.
Okay.
The appearance part. I'll go over it one at a time.
Thank you.
Long horns coming out of his head. Unlike most tieflings, he's a little more human-looking, but his skin is pretty goddamn pink. Whereas the shield emblazoned with his symbol upon it, which is an acorn resting upon 2 leaves and some fancy vines trailing around the outside. His sword, also very nature-inspired, made by Becca.
To specifically to comment a little bit more on that sword, it's made out of a specific type of bronze, so it's kind of got like a bronze hue to it. But there's fillery along the hilt and the hilt of the weapon that has like vines curling around it. It's expertly crafted from a very young smith that apparently Toma has imprinted upon.
Why did the very young
as
smith make
soon
a
as-
sword out of bronze?
As soon as I left, I donated a lot of money to her cause and didn't say shit. It was pretty funny.
Okay.
He also forgot to comment about his boots of striding and springing. That was a
That's true.
mistake.
I got boots striding and springing, and Laris hates them to a
They
high
have
degree.
a very vibrant green hue to them, and they originally clashed with his armor quite a bit.
Not anymore.
Yeah. So
He's got very earthy tones, considering he's bright pink and red.
armor-wise, yes, for sure. Long hair, right? Long red hair.
Long red
Much,
hair.
similar to the art. His physique
ruby-ish
is
hair.
effectively the art, actually. But the outfit, his attire is remarkably different.
Yeah, and his eyes, I forgot to mention, are a milky white with hints of purple.
Ah, that's the thing. Milky white with hints of purple. What about the pupils? I have something about the pupils written
There
down.
are no pupils.
There you go. These are important details, mister.
There you go.
All right, let's get down to the details then. He's 185 pounds, he's 6'2", and he's 22 years old.
That's 6.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next. So Petite,
Yourself, please.
Petite, you're next. The next oldest, we're gonna go in the order of the party forming here. So Petite, Petite's the next one.
Not single and ready to mingle.
Yes. So Roderick Gray Crow is officially not single, is not ready to mingle. He has an attachment in the party, as we will say. But as far as his appearance, he looks to be maybe around his mid-20s. He's about 5'7", 5'8", maybe on a good day, or depending on the shoes.
He changes height.
Yeah, like your high horse. He's like
All
light
do
brown
depending
skin.
on the shoes.
He's kind of basically lean, but basically from the way he walks, like he's been trained a little bit during his life. Typical attire, you'll have basically just like plain blue clothes, and you kind of make what is it called? You kind of see like the shape of like maybe like studded armor under his clothes, and with that he'll keep a dagger on his hip. His hair at this point, I mean, I don't believe we got a chance. I don't think it was maybe expressly said that he cut his hair at this point. I don't remember. So we're gonna keep it long from basically after coming out of the mines for 2 months as we estimate. So it's slightly curly black hair. There would be some braids, but it's probably a little like frazzled now, considering he hasn't had time to really do that to get into mines. And it's probably a little further from the original shoulder length, probably a little further down towards his back. And with that, as he is half elf. He doesn't have like the most prominent like half elf, elf ears for the most part. It's like slightly shaped, and from there, his face. Basically, you can again because of the situation, because of 2 months, he probably he has a full beard at this point, which would actually cover up a scar
You can be shaving if you want, right? You can.
Nah, I'll worry about that in the game. We're just gonna be like,
Okay.
he's full wolf manning out right at this point. So there's a scar there that goes from.
I might have something to say about that, but we'll let it
Yeah,
go.
that's fine. That could be impetus for that. That's fine. But there's a scar that basically goes from his jawline towards his chin, but that's covered up for now. Basically the facial hair now is kind of covering up some like the more elven features of his face. And with that, he suffers. I'm not sure if you want to say suffer. That's the wrong word. But he has heterochromia. With that, his left eye is basically like a dull gray color, and his right eye is like a bright golden brown. And basically just has some scarring from his youth on his face that you can see, and like a scar that comes from his about a quarter inch into his hairline, like halfway down his forehead. And a little about him. I don't remember how much that was said.
And just whatever you would like to air, because there are going to be
Okay,
some new people
yeah.
that don't know any of this, and so this is just an opportunity to reset. Since we're at the halfway point, good opportunity for it.
Yeah. So I guess out of game, basically he comes from a like a lower middle class household, but some tragedy, and with that he would actually lose his family and get picked up again, and then eventually be adopted and take on a new life with them, and join a city guard, and things would happen from there. And I'll leave that for now. And with him, table you see her buzzing around if she's not invisible, is a sprite familiar named Krista. And she's about 2 inches tall. She has
no, she's taller than 2 inches. No,
we said it was 2 inches.
No, definitely. If I did, that's wrong. Sprites are normally 12 inches tall.
Fine, 12.
But I do recall
1
Krista's
foot.
tinier. I think Krista's like 7 inches. She's notably smaller than most sprites. But she's not 2 inches.
That's 2.
I'm like a mosquito. Like,
I don't know. Like, yeah, this is like an amalgamation of like 3 different sets of notes.
well, we're just gonna
Anyway,
we'll standardize it.
We'll reckon 8.
Let's say she's 8. Yeah, let's say she's 8 inches.
All right.
That fair. But yeah, she's got
just
like
2 sets of wings.
short little red red hair, right? It's like in a bob.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. She wears
with
like
freckles.
leaves for clothing. She's apparently very attached to foliage. Isn't that right, Thelma?
Yes, indeed. She wants a leaf.
I made her a dress, or didn't you make her a dress out of a leaf or something?
Yeah,
Is that the leaf I gave her?
I think that's
Yeah.
yeah. Because when you revived her, I think she was naked. So, anyway, anything else important you wish to share about Roderick? Any big events that have happened? Maybe in session.
Big events. I mean, which ones are you talking about? Are you
Well,
referring to?
I mean, like maybe Krista dying.
Yeah,
maybe
I mean,
you dying.
Maybe he may have been a little scarred because Krista died, and a little more scarred because he died. At this point, I see like a lot, but I don't.
It's just an opportunity. You don't have to like.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna leave it at that.
We'll go with that. All right.
Hey, what's your constitution score?
That's really
My constitution score is fuck you.
Originally, he was the only one that had the guts to go with a negative constitution.
It was a 9.
He has since then fixed that. It's now a 0. Come on.
Again, it's still not my fault that it happened. That was fine. That was
All
my point.
right. So, so the next player that joined the cast, that's still with the cast now, would be Owl's character.
I am not ready.
I'm ready.
You even got the music change.
All right, so where to start? Okay, so Evelyn came into the group quite interestingly at Fort Tall, and she was pseudo rescued by the group, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah, pseudo rescue.
Yeah.
You did most of the rescuing.
Yeah, big spells.
We mainly just escaped together and went on the road, and gosh, I don't really know what I want to say. So I am from Windheim, and I'm just trying to get back to Windheim. Madan took me on quite a little bit of a loop there, going underground. Not very fun.
We'll get into that, but maybe.
But yeah.
What's your association with Windheim?
So I don't know how much I want to say because we're gonna get into it.
It is public though, right? The episodes covered it. This would be information that has been digested to the viewer, the reader, right?
I did say all of that in the first episode, didn't I? So Evelyn is from a well-to-do family in Windheim. She is the daughter of a very prominent political figure in the city of Windheim, and that's why she was in Fort Tall to begin with. I guess part of the reason she was there, she was also looking for her best friend, whom was there at the time. And so, yeah, I'm... Sorry, I'm trying to remember what else I had said. I think that's pretty much... Yeah, so she's from a well-known family, a noble family. She looks a lot like her picture. She's got long, flowing auburn hair. She has green eyes. She has a lot of like rose gold jewelry, some rings and some necklaces. She has long, deep blue robes with long sleeves that go almost down to like her wrist. She has some scars you might see at the very kind of edge of the right arm where her robes are.
Are they fitting robes or are they loose and baggy?
They are fitted. They're fitted robes. Yeah. So you might have seen some of the scars like peeking out from like her right arm of her robe.
Like if the sleeve like rolls down a bit or something.
Yeah. She has a platinum circlet with circular wisps that form leaves going around her head, and in the middle of the forehead of that was like a penny-sized emerald. She carries a slightly curved staff with dark burnt wood, and at the top of that staff rests the skull of a deceased humanoid creature.
Did you see it? Oh
my god, I forgot about that.
Yes, don't forget. She's got this very elegant look, and then she's got this like shamanistic staff.
Yes. Very, very, yeah. She's a very when you look at Evelyn, you can tell she's very kind of put together. She doesn't have a speck of dirt on her. She keeps herself clean and mended. So, even though we've been kind of through all this adventuring, you wouldn't really probably be able to tell on the surface really with her. She does very well about kind of keeping herself together that way and keeping herself presentable, so to speak. She also has just like, around her belt, like some bits and bobs. She has like a little owl at her hip and a dagger that you've never seen her use. It's just there. And
to iterate, not a real owl, iconography.
No, it's an icon. Yeah, it's a little rose gold owl that kind of just dangles. She has like a chain kind of like around her belt. Just like a little thin kind of like just decorative basically. That she has. And yeah, that's Evelyn. Very well put together.
All right,
lady.
Let's move on to the next member that joined the cast twice in a row. DTW, what's the character you're currently playing?
So, I am currently playing the one and only hero Catman, known as Akal of the Broken Peaks clan. He was found in the Medan mines by the group, specifically after they had ventured further in, and they found him in, Hammerhold. The city outside of Hammerhold,
Broken
to the right
Toe,
of it.
I think is the name.
Broken Toe. Okay,
I think. Let me pull the map.
Yeah, it's okay. So in any case, he was on the Karat side of the Medan mines.
Stone's Rest.
He was on the Karat side of the Medan mines because there is a faction of Tabaxi who live in the petrified forest. That is their home, and they have been forced out of their actual home, which is deeper into the mountains. And he's dropped the name of Kual Taj, and he's discussed about it some, but for Call, his clan, his family, weighs heavy on his mind, and he joined the group out of kindness and also a give-take, as in if he helps the group, maybe they will help him and his people, and maybe help liberate Kualtaj one day. But Akal stands probably about a 6'7", very tall, muscular Catman. He wears hardly any clothing. He wears, keeps himself modest, wearing a loincloth and various leathers to cover himself, and a single pauldron on his left shoulder. He's obviously got scars from battle along his fur, which is a white with black accents throughout it. Very short, well kept. On his back, however, where he's wearing no clothes, is a very large, almost like a burn. Almost so sort of the best way to describe it is like a tattoo, but it's an obvious burn of a massive tree all the way down his back. The branches and leaves going up his shoulder blades and into his arms. The base of the trunk down his spine as the roots almost go down into his hips. Very, very looks like it was applied very deliberately and
the hair has not grown back there.
Correct. The hair has not grown back, and it is
visible.
permanently seated there from what people can tell. But so far he has been assisting the party in combat and what diplomacy can.
And providing some food from time to time.
Yes, and providing some food. He is very, very happy with his newfound, the new land that he's exploring out of the mines. Seeing the wide open sky and lush green fields for the first time. Yeah, he's very, very kind and gentle. And as we found out through some of the earlier sessions, easily swindled by some of the merchants of this new world. Yeah, that'll do.
All right. And so the next player character that's with our group right now would be Thoric.
Oh, whoa!
Yeah.
I was expecting another one in between. Oops. Right. Well, I have these things written down. He's apparently, okay, well, he's a half-orc. He's about 6'3", 210 pounds, apparently. In his early 30s. Which is very old for orcs, half-orcs, and such. They don't tend to live long. They tend to fight and kill and die, and so he's clearly a veteran. His body is covered completely with scars of all shapes and sizes, weapons, metal, beast, anything you can think of. He's basically just sandpaper of a skin. He's wearing... What type of armor is it?
Chainmail, I think.
I'm pretty sure it's chainmail. Yeah, okay. It's chainmail armor, which is also completely worn down, scratched, damaged, bumped. It's seen a lot of battle, and it's done a lot of repairs has been done to it. Clearly not very well, or not by a proper blacksmith, but you can, in summarize, he's probably done the repairs himself, stitched a few chains together, left others dangling. It is what it is. It's what he can get his hands on. He's got a shield that he carries along with him at all times, with the symbol of Drabalor engraved into it, which has been almost completely just scratched out, whether intentionally or through damage, as well as a lot of Orcish writing around the brims. That I don't know if you read Orcish. You might be able to read it. You may be not. Then what else is there? There's another piece of clothing. He's wearing a golden chain necklace around his neck that has a flat coin-shaped pendant at the end, and the pendant is made of almost burnt-colored gold, reddish in hue, that appears to have been minted. The front side of the pendant has an etching of a hallway that leads to a giant lit brazier, and the back side has a shape of a dragon sitting down facing away, its wings furled in. There you go. That's a very detailed explanation of a necklace. If you're paying a lot of attention to
It sounded much like you wrote that one, huh? Send the fellow the same.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's almost like one of these has been written down. And of course, as is tradition with me, I'm forgetting something. His very short beard, he doesn't have a razor blade, but he cuts it with other blades, so you can tell there's a stubble there. He does try to keep it clean. Everything else is pretty matching to the art that you see on him. Green skin, half-orc, dark eyes. As for the character itself, his demeanor has been very grumpy and disgruntled old guy that hates everything, as you can pretty clearly tell. He's upset at just about everything that happened. Yeah, if there's more I remember, I'll add. I didn't.
He's one of the relatively newer characters, so there hasn't been a lot that's been publicly announced yet, so that makes sense. So, all right. Yes, okay. And then we'll get to our last player character, and then we'll talk about the two other NPCs that are with the group. So, Kyle, let's hear about your character.
All right, so actually I got a treat here. I was able to find my original synopsis that I had to send Laris to show that I was serious about my character and then his backstory. So I had to write an essay. And I actually have a copy of it still. Now, heads up for all the people. Some of this information is not exactly been shared with everyone, so keep in mind, don't meta too much, okay?
You can
no.
leave that out. It's supposed to be public knowledge. You're supposed to talk about public knowledge. You're only supposed to talk about public knowledge. It was not
come
publicly
on.
known.
I'm going to be only talking for 10 seconds then. I'm only episodes. Hello, I'm Baldric Rothgar, human doctor of medicine, a male, beard to mid-chest, gray and white hair, brown eyes, and 82 years old. Oh, light frame, about 135 stones, fair skin with a few scattered age spots, wearing a dark blue robe with a hood. I carry a big, brown, leather-bound book. I wear a pair of thin brown spectacles. I have a sort of hunched, stooped posture because I'm so old my bones are falling in on myself. Everything else is backstory, so you don't want me telling it?
Well, no, there is something that's been public. You've announced there's your enemy.
Yes, I have a nemesis, an arch nemesis. Here we are. Baldric spent his early years studying the sciences, preferring the indoors to the outside. He grew up in a suburb of Windheim, and while his family wasn't rich, they had enough money to send him to school/academy. He became interested in medicine and started advanced schooling and got a doctorate in medicine. He opened a clinic in Windheim near Grandview Park. He named his clinic Grandview Clinic in connection to the park. He ran a successful practice for about a decade before a competitor showed up. Dr. Wormsworth.
Wormsworth.
What's it?
Wormsworth.
Wormsworth? Oh, what? Oh, it's written differently here. You must have asked me to change it. Worms.
Yes, your original copy and the non-approved one, I guess.
No, I guess so. Wormsworth. Well, a few little lads over here don't mind me. Until Dr. Convetter showed up. Dr. Wormsworth. Dr. Wormsworth is a dragonborn from a rich family with a huge coffer to allow him to throw money at problems. I need to do a replace all. Dr. Wormsworth opened his clinic on the other side of Grandview Park, and he named his clinic Granderview Park. Granderview Clinic. Granderview Clinic. And thus began the fierce rivalry between the two. Baldric would try to run a promotion, and Wormsworth would always find a way to one-up him. Baldric would start Wait, I just said that. I would start a promotion like a free examination, consultation with the occurrence of a new condition, and within a week, Wormsworth would come out with his own promotion. Get 2 free examinations, consultations with 1 occurrence of a new condition. Every time Baldric would promote, advertise, remodel, or paint, Wormsworth would follow suit in a week after and always cut a better deal or add more flash. This worked on some of the clientele, but Baldric was a better doctor, dang it, and he maintained many of his patients. Wormsworth decided to employ several thugs to hang around the park near Baldric's clinic. And through threats and criminal activity, the gang scared Baldric's patients away to the other side of Granderview Clinic, into the welcoming arms of Wormsworth. Slowly over the next 30 years, Baldric lost patience to the flair and low-level tactics of Dr. Wormsworth, and his clinic was in jeopardy of closing for good. Oh gosh, this is a lot for an old man's voice. Baldric consolidated everything he had, not to be outdone by his rival, and sold his home and moved into and lived inside his own clinic in an attempt to have a longer hours of business. Wormsworth once again found a way to up the ante by hiring an arcane practitioner to duplicate Wormsworth with a simulacrum spell, allowing near 24 hours access to medicine. Not wanting to admit defeat, Baldric began studying magic in hopes of finding a way to heal and cure the sick. While researching and teaching himself in his clinic, he practiced casting a spell that sent a spark into a series of tomes and started a large fire that quickly spread. Baldric was able to escape with a handful of possessions and some coin, but his business was done. Baldric then pooled up what resources he had left, them being very little, and hid away in a cabin in the mountains near the Grey Gate, convinced that the only way to outdo Wormsworth was to continue practicing and learning magic. 12 years have passed since then, and Baldric has mastered the magic in the tomes and scrolls he had, but was unable to find the healing and curative magic that he had hoped to discover. Perhaps an adventure into the outside world would lead to discovering what he had been seeking. And finally trump that Wormsworth once and for all.
So a big important thing to note, just the DM to talk here, is that healing magic doesn't exist on Arkelya, this planet. So you don't have clerics running around just, miracle curing people. You do have things like lesser restoration that removes diseases and remove curse and things like that work. But healing magics that instantly mend wounds, they are effectively non-existent. There have been a couple historic, legendary people that have had the ability, but it's incredibly rare. And if they do exist, they're incredibly sought after. With Baldric trying to find the way to duplicate these myths and legends, this is his character's quest. You gave a lot more than I was intending, but all right. So, anything else you wish to add there, Baldric? Spectacles?
Been 2 years. This is very convenient having this here.
Well. Okay, so I think that covers the character, the player character stuff. So we'll talk about 2 NPCs that we have in the party. We have a former player character that was played by Mike. This would be Pyrus. Pyrus was a 6 foot tall, green skin and light green eyed female. She seemed to have some kind of elven heritage. Her ears were slightly pointed. She had long flowing brown hair and a childish face. Most of her clothing seemed to be kind of thatch or leaves and vegetations were kind of strung together, but she did have a couple pieces of more civilized clothes. For example, a finely stitched leather tunic, effectively, that had embroidery of I believe an eagle on the back of it. And so she had a couple artifacts of civilized world, but most of her looks relatively rustic, we could say. She had recently joined the party as well, and was portrayed herself in a way of being, kind of withdrawn, introspective, and very naive about the world. She carried a tome around with her that seemed to recant some kind of tale or notation of very prominent locations or landmarks that existed on New Ulsol and in the Esteren continent. And it looked like she was on some kind of quest to visit said locations. Be it through her own whims or through whatever this book is telling her, and that's how she kind of met the group. And the group said that they were going to head to Windheim, and this is one of the locations in this book that she wanted to visit. So she's kind of tailing in tow with them for now, because they're headed to the same destination. And then the final NPC that is in the group is a blonde-haired human, female woman. Her hair is long. I think the last haircut that Evelyn gave her was she put her hair up into a bun, I believe. I think her standard typical bun. Let's see. So yeah, in fact, I'm sorry, Pyrus doesn't have art. So this would be Pyrus's token. This on the screen. I know it's very tiny. I'm sorry, but and then Aniel would be this token. As you can see in this token, Aniel apparently had wings. She no longer has wings now, though. So at one point in time, she was potentially an angel, which angels, much like our tiefling Doma here mentioned, are not known entities on this planet. And so her exposure is originally as an angel was rather awe-inspiring and shocking. And then things occurred, and she no longer has her wings. We'll get to that when I get to the scenario recap. But blonde-haired woman, she's very beautiful. Wearing a white and red dress. The dress kind of cuts off a little bit above the knees. There's some gold filigree. There seems to be a very common motif of feathering or birds kind of upon this gold ornaments upon a person. Her story we're not going to really get into as much because she's an NPC, so I don't have to be as specific about that. The recap will kind of cover her in a bit, and that hopefully will suffice about Anya, but she is an NPC that is with. What's the head shake though for? What are you disagreeing with?
I think I would like to know more about.
Well, you can ask her in game.
I've tried, and no, you won't stop me.
So we'll figure a solution then, Baldric. So yes, there we have Anya, Pyrus, and then the other cast members, which are shown on your screens. All right, so let us get back to the script here, and so. We've got our introductions out of the way. Thank you for tuning in and hanging out. Oh, this is this long. Let's get to a recap of our from session 1 to session 43. And this will be an quick recap, but it's long. Unfortunately, there's a lot of things to talk about here. I will announce that this is going to contain a lot of spoilers, so if you intend to go back in time and watch these old things and not see them, you might want to skip this part. I will give a very visible thumbs up when I am done with this section. Hopefully I remember to do this in like the 7 minutes or so it's going to take to go through this. But yeah, you'll get a visible thumbs up of when I'm done with that. So you could skip out there or you could just listen, and your choice. I'm just letting you know. So let's
do if I don't want spoilers.
You would tune out until you see the thumbs up, buddy. So let's see. All right. So our story takes place on the fictitious world of Arkelya, which is what the campaign is named after. Most of the casts are citizens of the country of Windheim. Windheim was the most powerful and prominent nation on the subcontinent where our story takes place. About 100 years ago, Windheim pushed for peace treaty with its neighbors, one which was agreed and signed. As the century of peace unfolded, Windheim had lowered its military might, which was one of the stipulations to initiate this peace. As the centennial of peace was about to conclude, the eastern neighbor suddenly began hostilities with Windheim. A war broke out between the denizens of the Duskmire Marshes and Windheim proper. With most of Windheim's army gone, a draft was forced to repel the invasion and hold their borders. The Orc aggressors did not stop with their attacks, and eventually a counter-assault was formulated and pushed forward to disarm the central government of the Orc tribes, which were the main propagators of this assault upon Windheim soil. Our party the majority of our party, started the game off as new recruits who were being pulled into this draft. They endured many obstacles in their boot camp, some created by their own foolish designs, but eventually bared witness to Fort Tall, eventually bared witness to Fort Tall, the fort they were training at, being assaulted by a large Orc army. This was incredibly confusing at the time, as the front lines of the war were all the way deep in the marshes by this point. In the chaos of how a secret army had made its way this far west, Fort Tall was quickly overrun. During this engagement, our players were notified by the leadership that there was a VIP visitor who had to make it out of the fort alive. The party was introduced to Lady Evelyn Sistera, and charged with securing her safety away from the conflict. Our party escaped, the party escaped the sacking of Fort Tall and fled northward. They uncovered a magical relic, which led them to fighting an extraplanar monstrosity named Rukon, and saving the blonde-haired angelic woman named Aniel, which I talked about briefly a moment ago. They decided, I skipped, sorry. Saving a blonde-haired woman, Angel. In this world, angels aren't really a known entity, so many inquiries were prompted towards Aniel, but the party soon learned that she was effectively barred from really talking to mortals. The mystical woman was claimed to be indebted to our party, and she was convinced to continue to travel with them. As the party attempted to make their way back to their capital, Windheim, they encountered more Orc resistance. They fled and found a great fissure that had been created into the mountainside by their encounter with Rukon. They decided to use this fissure to escape the Orc pursuers. After going deeper and deeper into the subterranean system, the party stumbled their way into the long-lost dwarven kingdom of Medan. This nation was one of Windheim's old allies, but any entry into the mountain was long removed when the Grey Gate closed, which was the only exit and entrance into the mountain, when this was closed several millennia ago, according to records. The party made some allies here in Medan and some questionable allegiances with the Dwarf King, High King Landry, and High Swarm. The party was sent off into the Medan mines, the only known route deeper into the mountain that connected the capital with the rest of the Dwarven Empire. They were tasked to uncover why the mines had become no longer traversable, as around 100 years ago, anyone who would go into the mines would never return, and all communication with the outside establishments of the Medan monarchy couldn't communicate back, because there was just like this blackout. The mines were a spooky unknown what was going on there. Within the mines, the party encountered a slew of aberrant creatures and mental disorienting effects. They became incredibly acquainted with a stone called Agnir, a crystalline power source the Dwarven Society used to function and survive. And of course, this stone was in abundance in this mine. At one point, they all thought they died, but Aniel did something to free them or revive them. Whatever she did do, it clearly had cost her greatly, because ever since this since this point in time, she has been growing weaker and weaker since. And post this event, her wings shedded and she lost her wings. This is why she no longer has them now, or at least presumably why she no longer has them now. The party uncovered a plot within the minds of an army of alien creatures, a rogue celestial named Levolt, and an ancient dead entity named Saroth. It appeared this alliance was trying to revive this massive monstrosity. If they were to succeed, if these creatures were to succeed in their ritual, it would spell doom for the entire inhabitants of the mountain. The party attempted to stop the ritual resurrection and failed before entering a desperate conflict against the near 200-foot tall squid-like aberration. It was clear the party was no match for this ancient entity, and they were about to have each of their lives snuffed out before Levolt returned and annihilated Saroth with a flick of his wrist. In the chaos of Saroth's demise, Duro Drunadorn, a dwarf ranger that joined the party to help clear the mines, perishes. During the chaos, Levolt appeared to not even recognize the existence of the party, probably to their benefit, and left them scattered there while he walked out with a strange alien artifact. The party comes to terms with their recent loss and eventually continues forward, escaping to the other side of the mines. There, they find the rest of the Dwarven Empire, often referred to as the colonial side of the Empire. The colonial side had not only just survived the mine closure, but had thrived. A new government was created in the capital of Karat, and their lives were prospering. Our group quickly found themselves being poised in a difficult situation, as the colonial side of the mountain did not want to be reabsorbed into the monarchy. The party knew they couldn't leave the mountain to the surface unless they got the Chodoros, the key to the Grey Gate. However, only the High King himself had the key. The party made their way back to the mines with an ambassador from Karat to establish communication with the monarchy. Negotiations with the king did not fare favorably, and Doma started a series of events that eventually led to Roderick committing regicide. The party was about to be arrested by the royal guard, but it seemed that the most recent High King was not favored greatly by his own subjects. The party helped Medan City design a new government for itself and establish relations with the colonial side of the mountain. For their efforts, they were given the Chodoros to open the Grey Gate and allow the surface to re-enter the mountain again. During the trials of Medan Mountains, they had picked up two new allies, Ikal the Tabaxi and Thoric the Half-Orc. After returning to the surface, the two Undermountain allies quickly learned what natural sunlight felt like, and it was not pleasant for their eyes. A green-hued skinned woman named Pyrus and an old human male named Baldric soon joined the party after. The group makes their way to a nearby town called Pipel, where the town has a festival going on. The party participates in the activities before they find out that there is an evil crone out in the nearby mountainside. They hunt down this Teutontina and kill her, and also find evidence that her hallowed harvest is potentially still out there in the world. They return to town, cure a lame girl named Jessie, and resume their trek south to Windheim. Along the way, they notice there is an abundance of smoke in the sky, but the trip is mostly a peaceful one. They rest for a night before being awoken to a farm in the distance set ablaze. They rush off to help and find two elderly residents dead inside the homes. They deduce the individuals were in fact murdered, and the fires were more likely to cover up for the evidence. The party is presented a difficult choice where they could chase these assailants and bring them to justice, or continue south to Windheim. A decision is made that lets the criminals be free for now, as there are more important matters to deal with Windheim. And that was the recap of our first 4 years of sessions. So there you have. You can now resume if you were trying to avoid the spoilers. So, everyone, are there any questions for any of my players before we begin narrating and actually resuming the storyline? No?
No, I mean,
What's with the acorn?
We can't stall any longer, huh?
no.
Oh boy.
Question.
I was nervous.
Why?
I was nervous. All right.
What was the weird spear? I got many questions.
Right. So, last we left off, we were actually still at this scene. So I'm just going to have to go back a bit here, and I forgot to prep that song there.
Oh man, here comes the music.
There was music the entire time, Kyle, but yes, here comes the
music.
Here comes
No,
the...
I mean like the organ.
Yeah, you know it. So last we left off, you guys were at this farm that you came to try to save. And you saw it was on fire, you found evidence of a house that had been blocked in, and there were 2 dead, deceased elderly people locked inside. You concluded that the elderly woman actually died of asphyxiation, and you were just minutes away from actually potentially being able to save her, but too late now. There was an elder male that was also with her, but he clearly had several stab wounds in his abdomen and demised well before the fire took place. Even despite these dead people, you dragged their corpses out of the burning building, and a call, combined with some of the other you guys, do a quick investigation to try to pull the clues together, conclude that there was 2 other people that had visited this farm recently, based on the tracks in the mud, and that these 2 individuals seemed to have some kind of disagreement, a communication at first, and then it led to a possible disagreement. There seemed to be kind of confusion, at least with one of these sets of footprints, before the other set of footprints lunged forward, must have attacked the old man, stabbing him, and then things led to the outcome here that we kind of talked about, that it looks like a murder occurred, and that this fire was set on this farm to potentially cover up the evidence. You guys did manage to track and know where these individuals fled, and with the recent demise of the woman, you conclude that these people are not too far away. You could, as noted in the summary, chase after them and bring justice to this recent murder. However, you guys had opened into a dialogue to deliberate. Is this our responsibility? Could we just let the normal authorities deal with this? This is their responsibility, and there are more important things at hand. And so an argument and a disagreement comes out where some of you start announcing, well, no, we have to chase after them. Well, the others, there's an equal number on the other side saying, no, we can't. There are far more bigger things at hand. Bringing 2 criminals to justice is not going to save hundreds of lives. Going to Windheim now and talking about the complexities of things that we've seen could save far more life. There's a greater gain to go now to Windheim. And so, in the end, you managed to convince all of you, maybe some of you begrudgingly, that Windheim is the direction that you're heading. And so with that, you guys are still technically at the farm now. You've kind of uncovered more or less everything you could here. There's still an orange ambient glow spreading out in this very pitch black dark night. You can stare up, you see smoke, you feel the ash, you smell the burning. Some of the bodies were slightly burned, and so there is a little bit of smell of burnt flesh that permeates in the air. And as you stare up, you see the trail of smoke is kind of reaching its way upwards into the sky. And this moment, you recall that during your previous day's travel, there was actually a large amount of smoke also on the horizon, but the horizon to the west, if I recall, the west of where you were. And noting that there might be more of these or something else that's going on here, a complexity that's far larger in scale than maybe just this one scene. It could be connected, it could not be connected. There is still a beautiful complex of white stars in the sky, oblivious to the recent atrocity that occurred here on this material plane. But you're not necessarily trying to pull in the inspiration of the universe, more about just realizing the facts of life, how cruel nature can actually be. And so here you guys all are, loosely spread out. What would you all like to do?
Well, all right, we're all voting here. I see that. I don't want to stall us too much here, but I don't know. We can catch these people, I feel. I think we might need to consider our choices again real fast, but we have to do it quickly. These people are getting further away every second.
I thought we already agreed.
Yes, while I agree that I would much rather chase after these evildoers, we have agreed to head to Windheim.
Well, I actually abstained from voting, but I can still vote.
Well, if you
I think the
abstain,
decision's already made.
I'm pretty sure your vote was for Medan Mons.
Mm-hmm.
well,
Let's see here.
If you decide to vote, if you decide to chase, we're at a stalemate once again.
I
Well, you can't just change your votes halfway after you see the results.
I never casted a vote. I'm allowed
Right.
to cast my vote. I took an oath to protect lives.
They're dead already.
These monsters butchered these poor people. we must help the people that we can immediately see. And I am very grumpy that I didn't get any sleep, so I want to make those bastards pay for not letting me sleep. So let's get them.
Well, if the further from Windheim you go, the less sleep you will get. How about we actually go to Windheim, and you go to a tavern or something and get a full night's rest in a bed for once?
Yes, a bed. That sounds pretty nice, doesn't it?
Right.
But I took an oath, and
The oath probably pertains to only the living, right? What can you do for the dead?
but
The
they
most we
might
can
be
do-
going after and hurting more people.
That's a what if.
If you
Well,
follow
what do we
that
know?
type
Must
of
we
mentality,
Windheim
you're going to
for
chase every
anyway?
criminal we come across.
I'm for one chasing every criminal we come across, but that is, well, neither here nor there. But we must.
Would actually love to chase them down, but I do have matters I want looked after before I
Right.
continue these kinds of things.
Well, standing around here won't do us any good.
Let's bury the bodies at least.
What is our rush to Windheim? I know we had a talk earlier about heart seekers and doing good and helping people out, but why are we going to Windheim? What is this urgent matter? You haven't shared that with me. You haven't shared anything at all, actually. I asked some simple questions to our friend over here. I gestured towards Daniel. And you all seem to scare me off. And then I ask our paladin... I shouldn't have said that. I ask our friend Domo, some questions, and you also don't. You know what?
I am more than willing to talk about the petrified forest and anything of Medan with you at any time.
We did just open the Medan gates, so that is kind of a big deal in terms of kind of, geopolitical everything.
Indeed. The nobility here, he's staring at Evelyn, would very much so, well, it would be remiss of them not to tell Windheim of this event. That way we could get maybe trade going and further benefiting the Medan people and the people of Windheim.
Exactly. That's my urgency to go home, but I do understand the dilemma that we are facing, and it's a very difficult decision. But
Well-
at the end of the day, how far away are these guys? Can we realistically even chase them at this point? And I think we've seen guard on the road, so
Well,
isn't this better suited for the guard to handle?
You have seen a mercenary band, to remind you all, of the Emboldened Breast, if I recall their name.
A fist with a thumb sticking out. is
Yeah,
their
it's kind of
symbol.
like this. That it's clenched, with the thumb is pointed towards you, the viewer, looking at the emblem. And that's a mercenary band. They are a service you pay for to protect goods. It's not necessarily the People's Band would be the local militia that protects people, like smaller settlements and roads in between. You have the Bluestead Brigade. That is the army that Windheim uses. That's like, major conflict. This is where the Bluestead Brigade is obviously, if the war is happening, that's what they would be. There would be some soldiers that would be dealing with big threats internally, but that's generally not happening for Windheim soil.
So was the mercenary band the ones that recognized me?
Yes, these
Okay.
are not
The emboldened,
These are
the
not
emboldened breast?
these-
No.
The Emboldened Breast would be
Emboldened
just a
Breast.
mercenary band, a prominent one of 5 sub-factions grouped together under one band. It's kind of like a guild almost, right? You know that they are based out of the Laurels in Windheim, which the Laurels is this front section, not in the core of Windheim, but out of past, like along the lakeshore, basically, of Windheim soil.
Are they still near us, or have they passed by now?
Oh, they passed you guys well.
Was it last night? It might have been last night.
Before you went to bed, you guys, I think they passed you.
We set aside the road and let them ride past us.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
that
right.
was like hours ago, and then you guys did start trying to sleep, and then got back up. So you haven't seen them for a while.
But you said these guys are just paid mercenaries, so they have tasks, so they wouldn't stop. They wouldn't. You said they were well respected, so that means that they wouldn't give up their task to do
Well, they
something
recognize
else.
me, so they could have if I had maybe stopped them. But either way, I digress.
It seemed like one of them recognized you. Didn't all of them? One of them seemed to have recognized you.
Yeah.
You don't know exactly like what was going on with that. And then to ask your question, it's debatable. They could be good people that do good deeds. They could be renowned for being honorable people, but they also could be renowned. Baldric, make a history check for me to see, just so I can try.
First roll.
The first roll back, boys. Let's see how.
Whoa.
Is Vlad still
Nat
cursing this
20,
group?
Nat 20, Nat 20.
Here we go.
Nat 20, Nat 20, Nat 20. Hey.
Silence, non-believers. Here we go. All right.
Okay.
And then let's see my stats modifier.
What do you
Page
roll?
one.
A
Let's
10?
see here. Plus 5. So 14.
The playlist was not. I didn't repeat it. 14, you said. You feel that this organization is going to take their charge more deliberately than just goodwill. However, their charge could be to cover the road. They could be hired right now to cover the road and police. They could be also charged just to escort the wagon they're with. You don't know the full charge that was placed to them. You didn't ask. You more than had the opportunity to open dialogue with them, but you did not do such.
Missed opportunity. Okay.
I would also like to mention that one of our party members is not doing so well. I would like to get to a main city so we can get something checked up on. In fact, I wouldn't even like to go to Windheim. I'd like to go to a different city.
Sorry about that.
What? Why?
Dramatic organ music.
The playlist was supposed to loop. Apparently, I typoed it. So
What city did you want to go to?
The city I showed up in. I can't remember the name of it.
Veneer.
I couldn't find it. My Veneer.
What is
wait, so
engineer?
It's a holy city where a god once tread upon the land.
Oh,
A very specific god.
do I know? Did he share with us in the 5 episodes I've been here? Did he share what his ailment is? I think this is the first time I've ever heard of this.
It's not him he's talking about. It's Danielle.
Daniel. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You would
I
not
don't know about this.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
did do medicine checks on her and see that she was unusual. There
Yes,
was something
I
odd.
detect
So
magic.
at this
I
comment,
control-
I would say it would be reasonable. I know this huge distance in time of us last playing. It would be reasonable for your character, who with his +5 intelligence mod, right, to formulate.
How does Danielle?
It's probably
how
referring
does-
to her.
How does she look now?
At a quick glance. Oh, give me a medicine check. Wow, doing rolls now. Oh boy, we're playing
Playing
D&D.
D&D.
While
This
she's
is how-
doing that,
I don't believe
she's
it.
doing that check. Did someone mention that we need to go this?
I don't remember how to roll, you guys.
Press the
Select
dice.
R.
Pick up the dice and hit
R.
R. Tell us how it is. Or hold the right click and then drag your mouse around and it'll.
No.
Don't do that. No, okay.
Roll the dice.
Oh, it's left click, not right click.
Anyhow,
Yeah, right click will drag it across the ground.
It's a 7.
With your
seven.
with your modifier.
Ouch.
Well, she's a sorceress. Charisma is her core stat. Okay, so 7. As you do it, look at her. She actually has got like her left fingers like against her temple, and she looks like she's got like a headache, or she's not really paying attention to your guys' conversation. It looks like she's just trying to focus whatever pain she's having in her head right now out. She's like trying to meditate it away.
Gotcha. So, okay,
How
I'm
far are we
assuming I
from-
know the land. How far are we from Windheim currently?
I think
Roughly.
he said that. I think he was saying we were like a day or two.
A day?
A day or two.
When I was going through the
How
flight
far
path.
away from your Windheim? About a day away.
Oh, okay.
And
We're definitely gonna be
You're really close to Windheim.
and how
Well,
far away
we
from
know that.
from where Doma wants to take her?
farther.
Oh,
a lot farther,
yeah,
right?
you as your political self, you wouldn't even need a history check. Veneer is substantially far away from Windheim. It would be let me reference the map real quick. Estrin.
R.
I'm guessing it's more of a suicide
It'd
mission
be,
going
it'd
to
be
there
about
than-
it'd be
Suicide.
if you took the road,
You'd
it would
die
be
first,
over a
probably.
week's travel.
I got
Yeah.
you.
Sheesh.
Yeah, but she's not. I mean, she's not looking too good. So I think we should.
Which
Get
is
to
why I
Windheim.
said Windheim, but I would
Is
like
this-
to go somewhere else later.
Is this speculation that we know we can take her, or is there some sort of like guarantee. I'm sorry, I think this is before I showed up.
We don't know how to help her really, but if we get
she's
to a bigger
connected
city,
to a certain
This
god,
is a great
and the god
opportunity
has-
to bring the bridge that in character. Baldur does not know this. Let's go ahead and.
I did. I said, why are we heading out to Windheim? What's the rush? I'm just following along, but I don't see the immediate urgency. No one shared that with me. But we do know we can help protect other people. When we were coming here, we saw fires, smoke elsewhere. Maybe they're attacking multiple people. Protect people, this town.
I look at Aniel and then back to Baldric, and I'm just like, well, some of our members need help sooner than later.
What are you
We
talking
can't
about?
afford to miss, to delay.
I'll turn to Annie now and notice. Do I notice her doing like the obvious pain thing?
Yeah, your passive medicine would just notice that she's having some kind of drooped posture, and it seems like she's having a headache. And then with your remembrance of your detect magic used previously, and then you're like, there is something odd about this woman.
Well, did he look at her and it was like an empty shell or something like that almost?
Yeah.
So for my viewers, detect magic gives more information than it does by default. The Arkelya is so infused with magic naturally that it actually infuses itself like radiation almost into organic creatures, and even sediment. And so if you've ever seen Naruto, if you like looked at someone's chakra, there's like these veins that move through someone, and that's similar for mana. All living creature has mana going through it, and Aniel does not have that network. If you use detect magic that would normally showcase this, there isn't even a highway, nor is there any glowing. The party knows a little bit more than that, but I can't talk about a little bit more about this specific with her. But from Baldur's perspective, she doesn't have any semblance of any mana in her person at all, nor a system to distribute mana, which is impossible, but per medicine.
Wait, what? Okay, the last time I tried this, you all shook a stick at me and stuff. I am a doctor. Would you let me try to administer some aid to your friend here?
I think we should let him.
We have no choice.
I think we should. Let
Don't
him
strike you! I have no choice. I'm a bloody doctor. Get out of my way! I push people out of the way as I move towards Aniel. Let me do it. All right.
Wait, does anybody have a shovel?
Is there a threat? Are you talking about hitting me in the head? Oh, you're talking about burying those people. Oh, carry on. I don't care about that. You do that dirty work. Yes, that's fine. All right, here, let's come sit over here with me.
All right, Thor, can you help me with that?
As you approach her, she didn't hear any of that conversation, and she just like stops as if she recognizes you came within 2 feet or so of her, and she looks up at you. Yes, I'm sorry. Is there something you need?
I need you to be honest with me. I need you to give me details. I can't make an actual diagnosis. I don't know what's happening, who you are, where you're from. I don't want to be too prideful. I understand you think I have ulterior motives, but I do want to give good care to you. I need to understand you. I tried asking you earlier and you wouldn't tell me. Let me explain. There's magic in almost everything. All life has magic in it. And when I look at you and I did analyze your magical essence, there isn't any, and there should be some. You shouldn't be able to move around. You shouldn't even be out of bed. Jessie, the little girl we saved, and only through us contacting the beam from the other side of the dimensional gates or whatever the heck that was. I don't even understand. But anyways, only through that process, she had more mana in her than you. You have to give us some. I don't know if your friends are trying to block information or what, but you have to be honest with me. This is the time. Lives are at stake, including yours. Talk to me.
Persuasion check.
Yes. Come on, man.
I'll go over near them and just like try to reassure Aniel.
Just one roll, then.
All right. So Evelyn, as this conversation was going, you like approached her and did what? Did you do something, or did you just walk closer?
I would reach out and just kind of like touch her shoulder and just try to reassure her that it's okay.
So during this, you all do see like as she's like as Baldric enunciated, her eyes go very wide, and it seems like she's entering a fear mode, and she's looking at her comfort, her support, which would be Doma, Roderick, Evelyn, and even she glances over at Ikal. You individuals are the ones she looks for like help, as if you guys are aware this is stuff that she wouldn't want to talk about. So Evelyn did do something. I will give you advantage.
Yes, because the thing is that Aniel hasn't been very truthful to even them, and so they want to help her because they love her. So, there's one role that matters in this campaign. Of course, it's the first episode you come back. Baldric, you have 2 D20s to make this work. Come on, baby. Here we go.
Not bad.
Ooh,
18
yeah.
and a 14. Okay. Okay, what's... all right. You said persuasion, right? Ooh, I only got a +1.
It's 19 still.
Okay, 19.
It doesn't move it into that 20 tier though. Oh no. Okay.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
So as this is happening, I do have questions for 2 members. Akal, Thoric, what are you guys doing during this conversation? I know that Baldric's very infused with it, but Akal, you were the one that had the scent of trail, so you are the most informed about wasting time here. You lose the opportunity to pursue. This is something that Baldric was initially trying to come to heads with. This side conversation he's looking into is reducing your chances of pursuing dramatically, and you're aware of this. And I wouldn't even need a roll from you, so it's on your mind. I caught your roll still on mine, and then
wait. Let me this one thing. But me helping Aniel helps make us being able to chase them happen. Don't just make it seem like I'm not helping here. Good people.
Thoric, I feel like you are, since you're so more disattached from the group, you might be more concerned with survival and protection right now, and so you might not be as absorbed in this conversation. You might be. I just wanted to know how intent are you in the conversation, or how alert are you in guard?
Well, he's got his arms crossed, and he's just like an eyebrow raised, looking at them. And the longer they ramble on about Elf and this, he starts looking around. He's just idly waiting around. He's bored.
So you're half listening. Your character plausibly will tone in and out of the conversation at times. If things get really heated, you will definitely focus in on it. Okay, so a call. You were the last element I just needed to notate. If you could, please.
A call would definitely be trying to maintain that scent and awareness of the tracks he found. But as this conversation grows and it becomes apparent that that's what the party's being engrossed in, he would kind of lose the scent and focus more in on the conversation.
So, are you going to alert the group that this opportunity is about to fade away? That's what I'm looking for, really. Or are you just going to respect it? Because if you did it, this could interrupt the conversation at hand. So he's
going to respect the conversation and just let it fade.
Okay, understood. I have all the elements I need to conclude if that 19 was it.
Or we'll die.
Oh, wow.
Giant necrotic explosion.
You're asking a lot out of me. They know that I really can't talk about these things. I'm not.
Why can't you talk? What is this big mystery?
Take a breath. You're scaring her.
Push too hard.
Some people need to be pushed to actually seek the help. Other times they just moderate on and then they actually destroy themselves. She's been getting worse and I've only known her for a few days. Something isn't right. Aniel, we want to help you. Ooh, that music ended just perfectly at that.
Aniel, let him try to help.
And she looks
as much as you can, Aniel.
She looks at you, Evelyn, in the eyes, and you see that there's like a pleading look, like a pleading expression, like she doesn't want to do this, right? But I imagine you're giving her a very stern look back, right? Because you know this is the best for her.
I understand your fear, and I know it's hard to trust new people, but I think he genuinely wants to help you.
I pull out a medicine kit. Doctor, reporting for duty.
All right, fine. We can tell him, but only just we can tell him.
Just enough.
Yeah, just enough.
I don't know what's happening. I've told everyone this. I don't know what's going on with me, but I'm not mortal like you. I'm not from the material plane. I'm from beyond. You seem well read. Do you know what a celestial is?
Do I?
Yes. Your default. You're a wizard. You would know what a celestial is.
Don't want to assume. I don't want to assume.
Yeah,
so.
it's fair. Fine.
I have +5 of religion, so yeah, I should be pretty reversed. Yeah.
So, I'm, and things have occurred not terribly long ago, where things were done, and ever since then, I've changed. I'm weaker. I've been getting sick. I'm no longer able to help. It seems that almost every time I try to help with my magic, it only worsens my condition. But we haven't had the luxury to not. And I had to do it. I had to try to save Duro. You understand, don't you? And she looks.
We do understand, Daniel.
Wait, I think I understand what's happening. So you're a celestial creature, you're telling me. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, alright. When I look inside your vessel, I see there's very little mana left, and you're telling me every time you're using your magic, you're actually depleting your own life energy.
Well,
mana is basically spent, and this is why you're getting so ill. Your body's literally falling apart right here. What I need to do, I need to try to inject mana into. Yes! I throw my books aside, take off my robes. This is time for me to try to help you. Please, assist me, people. We need to try to inject mana into her. We need to give her our mana. Boost her life essence. Level 5 spell slot. Just channel it into her. Everything. Another 2 level 5 spells.
So, hold on. You can only do one. You can only contribute a spell up to a spell slot at a time. That's an action.
All right.
Also, I will need you to make an Arcana check on such a high level spell, right? So if you could just roll me an Arcana roll to see how effective you are on this attempt on doing what you're doing.
While he's
There's
doing
a
that, I will
second
cast
important
Detect
roll.
Magic.
This is the one. Here we go. I got
I will cast Detect Magic while he starts.
Okay, I got you. You're having to detect magic.
To try to fate to try to.
Roderick, please make a Constitution save. I'm just joking. There's Arkelya here.
You're still in the mine. God damn it.
Okay. All right. Here we go. 13. All right. Arcana. Plus 9. That's a 22.
Yeah. Okay. So, you successfully just force out of your, so as mentioned, and your character also theorized, right? Creatures are made of mana. Spellcasters are well more attuned with their mana flow than others, and you can just force a spell slot out of your body and let the mana flow out. And you can try to direct it into a creature or an object. This doesn't heal them. Historically, many people in sciences have attempted to do what you're talking about, an attempt for restoration-like processes, and it's always never has yielded any positive result. But you have a hunch that with this specific entity and what's going on here,
especially with the interaction with Jessie recently too, because we were watching the mana go through her legs again, and she got healthier. So,
right. And so as you clap your hands together and Kamehameha her with your mana, there's no visible like alteration to the naked eye. There isn't like a spray of colors or anything like that. You feel the discharge of the mana leaving your body, right? You feel that energy, so you do spend the spell slot. It is consumed.
Roger that. I'll only have one.
Roderick, you do see a discharge of magical energy. It's just a sporadic color of like a bright blue, basically. Kind of not neon. I would say pale blue, but it's very vibrant and colorful. And as he tries to direct it, there's kind of like a cone shape to it, but spreads out, and not all of it moves into her or her vessel. But at least I would say 60% does hit her. Now, the most important thing would be, what was the solution? He said, Roger, could you make a perception check for me? I know I'm doing a lot of checks, so sorry, but
sure.
I have a lot of things I'm trying to calculate.
While I was doing that, I'll just note locally as well.
That is a 23 in total.
Okay, and what was it they were trying to tell me, Potato?
Thorax's attention is full in the conversation.
Yeah, this was
hearing.
Right, and a call would be turned over to this too. This is that amp up that I was trying to suggest. Okay,
you said was it 60%, or you say 68 or something like that?
Like 60% is
okay.
About a third of it is like bouncing off of her or just completely missing like past the shoulders, right? So it's not an efficient process of what he's attempting to do. Okay, so from from the naked eye's perspective, there is no immediate change to Aniel. You expend the spell. She doesn't like recoil and go or like relief or anything upon her person. You all stare and like blink a few times, waiting for some hopeful miracle to occur, and nothing changes. So that would be the outcome for all of you. Roderick, there is a interaction that you would see that seems a little unusual. As the mana that does enter into her person, you see it flood into this like faded silhouette of her person, and normally there would be highways, right? And as if like her body is a flat pane, as it like impacts, each like little particle forms like a ripple effect across this like silhouette of her person, as if you're having like a shower strike into a rain fall on top of the surface of a lake or something like that, right? It was originally tranquil and calm, no effect, but as the spray hits it, there's all these ripples starting to spread off across her body, and within a couple seconds the ripples fade. There's no other altercation, there's no remaining mana. Doma had previously did something similar when he would cast Detect Magic and did a lay on hands directly into her, and it's effectively producing the same exact effect that Doma witnessed before. Now, Doma, you can share your information, though you have not seen this altercation of it, but that just to remind our players, something like this similar has happened. Not quite just raw mana, but spell usage has been utilized before.
So it's basically more so like kind of like just disperses basically along her body as it hits her.
Well, so as what I will give you is that there is an effect. You do see some kind of resistance, like something's there, and there's a response to the mana moving into her. But then it kind of just like fades out. Like I guess if you dump sugar into a water glass, a surface, the sugar just kind of separates and the molecules disappear. Right, from visible view, they disappear. That can mean many things. It can mean it does have an effect. It could have no effect. It's a conclusion I can't provide to you. At least not right now. But that's the physical things that you guys would see, and the magical things that you have specifically seen. Hopefully.
Sheesh. Okay.
So just as I finish it, I immediately go up and start doing vital checks to see like if it has any impact on her body, because I don't have them to detect magic going.
And your medicine check will not be necessary. There seems to be no stark difference from any of the other times. She seems to be in the same relative state that you've seen her previously.
That doesn't make any sense. Our theory was in practice. Magical beings and mana.
You rather rushed it, but I could have told you that probably wouldn't work.
There seems to be some kind of resistance. It seemed like something was happening, but it just didn't necessarily like take.
I had to guess with my limited knowledge on proper magic, I would say that she needs a certain kind of mana.
Wait,
maybe we need something more powerful.
Have I seen Roger cast Detect Magic before? I know I've seen him do some combat stuff, but I don't know if I've seen him cast Detect Magic.
I don't think so. At least I can't recall him doing it.
I don't think so.
Okay, wait. So because he just said he saw. Wait, so you can see, you can detect magic too, then?
Yes.
Okay, describe to me what happened. I need more information. I need to understand. Maybe I need to. Whoa. Let me turn that down a little bit.
What?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, sorry. One of the bots broke and it wouldn't let me change the song. I wanted to change.
It's so cool. It's a new bot, so it has different volume. It was at 100%. So something's just dark, deep chanting.
Sorry.
It's cool.
I
All right.
Panic fit changed that.
Okay, explain to me what happened. Maybe I can triangulate what I did wrong. Maybe if I put it at a specific point, I can inject mana into the circulatory system and have it actually infuse. Maybe there's a blockage. Explain to me what you saw.
Would a blockage?
Just a call. You are aware that you have lost the scent completely. You would have to try to find physical tracks at this point in time to try to pursue this people.
Basically, your mana went into her like a cone, but I think a good portion of it was just lost. Basically, just going past her and all that. The parts that hit her. Oh, what? Hello? Is that it? I don't know.
Are you trying to find your voice?
Yeah, I don't know. It's feels weird out of time. Yeah. The parts that actually would hit her person would it seemed to basically like glass we see is this one. It would hit her. There seemed to be some kind of response, but it didn't seem to penetrate and actually become a part of her.
Wait, so nothing absorbed or something absorbed?
Something happened, but I don't believe it absorbed.
The color did not bounce back. It rippled, and the color went in past this barrier and then winked out.
So it did absorb then.
The conclusion from our higher intelligence curse is that an absorption did happen, whether it
so the absorption did happen, but just nothing more
changed.
And why don't you see it firsthand? Can you cast the spell too?
Did any of it permeate through, like it absorbed? Did any of it actually go into the circulatory system? Did it ever get like even?
She doesn't even have the veins. It's just of like the network that would.
So even if she's like an empty, as a silhouette of a person that doesn't have a highway, like veins to the highway. Well, wouldn't you only be able to see the circulatory system that you're talking about if there was mana flowing through? Otherwise, it'd be invisible.
No,
right?
There's no circulatory system. It's just the mana, right?
Yeah, but
just the like.
There's residue. So even on a deceased person, a corpse of a recent corpse person, there is residue that shows like this highway that mana normally flows, these little rivers and streams. So her not having it at all means that she's like not human. Right?
Where did I direct my beam at? We just kind of quickly I
would say towards the torso. You would be probably aware that you want the majority.
So I was aiming it basically at her core. And you said once I did detect magic. I did see a very little brief thing of her core though, right? It's very, 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 very faint, almost non-existent.
Yes,
right.
And like the very center of her, there was a little bit of a flicker of light, I believe you saw.
Yeah, because she had like an orange color or something, right? A different color mana.
So I don't remember how much you guys know and don't know, but I know some of the party does know this, that in her vessel there is occasionally, especially when she was prior to the ordeal, there would be like an etherless sheen. Kind of like if you saw like a nebula in space, right? There's like a gas kind of like flow, and she would have like that kind of just like wisping in and out. If you think of like Caverns of Time or maybe Outland and World of Warcraft, there's these like gas nebulas that move around. There was like that previously existed, and it was a golden hue, white and golden hue, like melding and changing color in between those two spectrums.
Yeah. Oh, oops! I didn't mean to say that. But yeah, I think you're right on that.
Okay. I think Roderick saw that before she saved us at the lake.
Like the before and after, because that's when I was spamming it.
Okay, so she has a different color mana then, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You mortals use blue.
Okay.
Like a light blue and a blue, and and she had a different one.
Okay. So when I cast Lay on Hands, is it the same color mana?
When you cast Lay on Hands, you use detect magic. It's not blue.
It's not blue.
It's a golden hue to white. It rotates between the two.
I have not seen them do it when I had detect magic, so I
You
haven't
did
seen
not.
that yet.
No, you asked him to do it again, and you stabbed yourself.
To be fair, Doma just offered to use it on her if you use the spell to see it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Okay. Sorry, that's very
lots of meta out of character conversation.
Yeah, we got way out of the thing.
Well, sorry,
I was not expecting this.
It's important to understand maybe how we can try to help her. It's a very important piece of this puzzle. And I have a lot of information I haven't caught up on yet because I came not that like way late in the game. Okay. Oh wait. Dome. Oh.
Doma.
Domo! Come over here, Domo! Come over here, and I cast detect magic.
Alright, Anio.
Do your thing. I stare at his hands.
Let's try this one again.
No. I'm sorry. Let me focus. I slap myself a few times, and I look at Aniel. This is not the time to be improving research and getting that worm stem. No, this is time to help heal
Worm's
people.
worth.
Don't want to
Right, yes.
Yeah. Like when I did it last time, I always like kind of do it from the back, right? I like place
You-
my hands on her back and
Yeah,
pump it in.
like I mean, you wouldn't. It's kind of awkward to put your hand in the
Change your wording.
front chest section of a woman.
Oh yeah, that's
Um,
much better, Larry.
Yeah, so you generally you put like down the back, right?
Where
Aim to
is
show-
the where is people's
That's
core?
what I was wondering. Yeah.
Is it in their belly, their chest, their heart? Their...
It's like in the sternum.
Okay,
Like,
it's
Yeah,
Great.
somewhere around there.
behind the
I
solar
would
plexus.
say behind your
Okay.
rib cage. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like up
Alright.
near the collarbone area, eh?
You sure?
No,
Yeah,
so
don't
like
that.
I don't know if you can
Alright.
see me. Sorry, here, like it'd be like right here, like
Got it.
kind of like in the core where your main vital organs are. I know the
Between your
lungs.
lungs, near your heart.
Yes,
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
that kind of juncture of that.
The
does-
term it's the mediastinum.
All right, and since
There you
there's,
You know
go.
exactly what that
Every
is.
I know
D&D
that
group
from
needs an
the
EMT.
Yeah.
all right, I'm gonna give her a reassuring smile and say, "Well, let's try this again, Aniel." And
Wait. Roderick, get over here closer.
Yeah, I'm here.
So the two of you kind of like come like
Yes. I grab all my spectacles to get the eagle
Put on your
advantage.
spectacles to look at magic.
Well, no, it gives me advantage on perception checks. So,
Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome.
Oh
All right.
shit! I want those
ahead.
glasses.
You guys heard? All right, it's been 2 years, so you probably haven't.
Anyway,
Yeah.
anyway,
I
All
let it slip
right,
to the-
yes. Back to the game. So
I reach to like
Doma,
the
what are you
upper
doing?
part of her stomach and try and like slowly pump the lay on hands in instead of a big burst.
So you're gonna try to do the older way you did, the ritualistic, not this the
Yeah.
flare.
Not-
so
not the
last
burst.
time you tried this, right? It was unexpected that it
watching.
just discharged. I'm like, whoa. So you're
Yeah.
gonna try to control this and make it similar to the before. Okay, well, this would be
Still
a little bit
have one lucky
a
left.
little bit of experimentation. So if you could just roll a charisma check for me.
Charisma?
Yeah.
Alright.
That's your casting mod, yeah.
Please. Vlad, don't be a bitch.
He jinxed himself.
First Doma roll.
Oh, let's
Okay.
go.
If I use lucky, I can choose either one, right?
Yes. You're gonna lucky.
Alright, I'm gonna roll.
Do you have luckies? I forget if you have
One
luckies.
lucky.
Crap, 2.5 years.
Look on the table. Look on the table. My little lucky counter is at 1.
All right. What did you currently
I'm
roll,
gonna-
anyways?
18.
I mean, that's really
But
good.
I
But
want to
okay.
roll higher. I want to see if I
Just-
can
just-
roll higher.
Lucky is no
I can't roll higher, but I'm going to take the 18 and add my, what is it, charisma you said?
5. Yeah, you have 5. 20, 28.
Yeah, if there's any,
I'll take-
if there's
I-
ever a time for
I-
Doma to
so-
use lucky, it's when he's trying to help Aniel for sure.
It's the only time he's ever used it. I think.
Trying to hit something.
Okay, 23.
Alright,
Right.
yeah, 23.
All right. Well, so you do succeed in this, like, discharge your hand. It very effortlessly compared to like all the struggle and strife you had before. But you somehow managed to recreate the pullback as you discharge energy. It seems that despite your very recent exposure of this new ability, you are having relatively great master control of it already. And so the energy does wash in. And so my two are investigators, yes. You guys would see it. So naked eye, there is no immediate change. Doma, how much land hands are you donating?
All of it.
All of it. So you're level
45
9.
points.
That's 45 hit
45
points. Okay.
Well, he wanted you to do like 1 or
If
something.
this is a big test where people are
Then they
watching,
could just-
I'm going to just pump it all in.
He could just
All
use
the
sheet.
fucking lay on hands.
All right, what was he? What was he?
Okay, so yes, one old man and the other
Looking old man.
yeah, looking old man with his beard like werewolfed out.
Well, he's actually moving slower than I am because of the levels of exhaustion. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you roll a disadvantage, right?
Truth.
Oh no! Shoot.
That's whatever. I didn't have a perception check here. It's like we'll pass that. Too much has happened already. Okay, so well, yes, you see a golden white energy, and you both would notice that it kind of there is that like pain effect that Roderick saw earlier that you see as well. But the way this energy leaves Doma, it doesn't like spray out like a shower. It's a different type of effect. It's more of like I guess if I were to think of like radiation, it just kind of like it's like a sphere that grows outward of energy that is outward, and as it impacts into that barrier or whatever this barrier is of her person, right? There is no there isn't a bunch of small sparks. It's just one giant ripple as this orb moves in. And it's kind of more of like a beam, right, I guess. It's more of that ethereal, nebulous energy. It's not one solid cylinder. It's like it flows like a curve into it and changes as it moves into her. And it moves into her person, and as you see, it kind of tendrils out as if it's like almost like a liquid intermixing with a incredibly vast open sea, an ocean. And you see parts of it kind of spiral its way, and some of it you see actually make its way to the very center of the sternum, and the little spark of light that's there for her, it flickers for a brief moment, but it doesn't grow, it doesn't get larger, but it flickers for a brief moment, and that's the effect. After Doma channeling for, probably 45 seconds, let's say, of this. That's about the extent of what you could do here. You couldn't do your 10-minute version. Here's what you were trying to do, but the energy just expands just too quick, unfortunately. So let's say 30 seconds, actually. It dissipates into her. You feel the energy gone. You're like, you kind of shake your hand a brief moment, Doma.
Did you see that?
Yes.
A call with your passive perception. You notice, like, there's like a light release of tension on Aniel's face after this exchange.
Yes, I did see that. It had an effect. But correct me if I'm wrong. We can work together on this one. But it looked to me like you have a bucket and you just took a little eyedropper and did just tiny little bits.
Yeah.
It's like her vessel is too vast for the amount of even our friend Domo here pumping everything he had available to him. Her vessel's too much. What we need to do, if you agree with me on my prognosis here, on our observations, we need to find a larger source of this, whatever this mana you're using is. If we can get her to a source like that, then we should be able to fill the bucket, so to say, and maybe we'll be able to actually help her.
Yeah.
How much of an understanding do you have of like your own mana?
How much does
you
Doma understand of his own mana?
Or Dona?
Yeah. Probably not much, right?
Well, Doma,
I kind of want to ask, like, do I understand where that power is coming from?
Yeah, I wanted to ask that. But
so Roger, make an Arcana check at disadvantage because you're exhausted. And Doma, go ahead and make an Arcana check. This is relative magic.
Damn.
that's so much. Disadvantage. I got a 9.
I got a 10, and my Arcana is probably trash. Let me say.
Oh.
Arcana,
You have +1.
+1, yeah, 11.
Damn, it's been 2.5 years and I still remember his +1. All right. Let's see. Roderick is unfamiliar with this type of energy. You're unfamiliar with this type of energy.
All right, so
you both would have a basic understanding of magic. You would know the blue is the normal creature. Mortals use blue energy. Other creatures use different types of energy. Elementals would have different types of colors depending on what kind of elemental they are. So I mean, depending on what creature you are, different kind of mana is exchanged and shot off, and the color is different, and consistency is different. This type of creature is an undocumented type of creature. Angels are not known of this in this material plane, and so even the energy that's being used here is just like unknown, really, not from the grasp we have.
Healing doesn't exist in this world, and this is the first time we've ever seen a thing like this. Logistic question. I've heard of warlocks before. I think we've picked that up. Do warlocks, when they use mana, is their mana blue, or is theirs a different shade as well?
See, you get it?
I
was about to ask. Yep.
Depends on which entity they're tied to.
All right.
Ooh, boy. Oh, man. Here we go. Some earth-shattering world stuff we're understanding. Oh, my God.
So,
this is what we're spending our session on this. We could be in Windheim right now, folks.
Walter, when you were infusing mana into Aniel, your mana was basically a blue color.
Yes, most things are blue. Yes. I've heard of a few documentations of things being different color, but that's when they're dabbling with magics, usually from other planes. I've never heard of of this orange, yellowy, fiery kind of color before. That's never really been any of the scripts that I've looked forward to.
Really?
That must be celestial energy.
Well, I
Then?
mean, it must. She
Yeah.
says she's a celestial creature, and wait, do I know anything about Domo and Marlesh and stuff like that? Doma.
No. Probably not.
Your native intelligence is high enough to recognize the holy symbol. He has the holy symbol Marlesh. You recognize that is Marlesh. Whether you believe the gods are helpful or not, that's your choice. But you know that he is.
And I'm seeing a connection here between celestials and Dom.
Oh wow.
Yes. Wait, Domo. That's right, Domo. Sorry, excuse me. Domo's ability to do his thing. So, it can't be. There was this very famous saying that coincidences are the gods playing in our world. So,
So everyone
Um,
looks at Roderick. So does that mean you must have a different color mana too?
well, I've never seen Roderick actually use any of his spells before. I have detect
Well-
magic going right now.
yeah, let me give it a try then.
Eldritch Blast.
No.
Eldritch Blast.
All right, so Roger would go up to Aniel.
Okay.
Are you okay with me doing this, Aniel?
Are you going to assault me? Attack me with something?
No, I'm going to try the same thing they did to
Oh.
inject you with mana.
If you think it would help, sure, I guess.
Sure.
You can tell she's really uncomfortable with like this many people like really in her
Yeah.
space. Eyes all-
Spectacles. Spectacles. I'm watching Roderick's closely.
Roger will
Or
place his hand
Aniel
on her back,
dies.
Goodness.
and he will, blow that 1/5, 1 of 2 5-level spell.
So you have.
I look up.
You're
I
a
have-
warlock. You can only access the highest level spell slot available to you.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. I can only do that 1 of 2.
Only you have 1 or 2, and it has to be a fifth, 6th level.
Yeah,
What level?
5th level.
5th level.
5th level.
Right.
Yeah, 5th level on this
All
one.
right. So, but just like Baldric, I need an Arcana check to see like how good you are at.
Okay, yeah.
controlling.
Is his Arcana or would his be like a
No problem.
charisma-based check?
This is
because it's
this is still Arcana.
That's okay. No problem. It's gonna be bad because I'm tired.
No, his fundamental knowledge of magic and how magic works is
okay.
there.
And he has the disadvantage because of exhaustion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm at a 9. No, that's a 10. Excuse me.
Okay.
Okay.
10
Well,
laughter.
Halfway.
so you are able to hijack one of your spell slots, right, and releasing, but it's nowhere near the potency of what Baldric did. Baldric had this like massive. You both see this as you get to do it, right? It's like half his size. So you feel like you must have contributed a 2nd or 3rd level spell slot ultimately in the end is what you did. It was nowhere near what you were going for, but you still feel you've lost the energy of a 5th level spell slot. And the color is not blue. It's not. No, it's a purple. It's a purple color. A very reminiscent color to you, Roderick. As you remember your visits to your friendly patron up into wherever the hell that patron happens to be, there was this purple miasma that kind of like floated off the cerebral like head and skull, right? This like liquid, and that color is almost exactly the same.
It's been there in front of us all along. It's been there since day 1, people. He's had this all planned out. Okay, quick.
Excuse me?
Oh, no, sorry, that's not Baldric talking. And when I talk like this. Okay, I quickly scan every other member of our party. What's everyone else's mana situation? Like, do people have different colors of mana, or is everyone blue besides Aniel?
I don't know. Evelyn?
So Roderick, under severe scrutiny, you would see mostly blue, but there are parts of him that actually have a purple, just like a little like spark of purple at different points. A lot of it happens to be located near his head, near his brain. You can actually almost see like a silhouette of his brain at points, as if like neurons firing off in his skull. The core has that color kind of like emanating around the blue. There's a purple like line, right?
It's faint, and if you didn't know to look for it, you wouldn't see it, basically.
Yeah, it would be easy to look. It had to be very scrutinized, and you are intently trying to like, okay.
Would I look different because I'm my ancestry?
Yeah, so...
Yeah, and I want to check her out, look at her too.
Well, so Evelyn's an interesting exchange. I will need perception checks for Evelyn. Shoot.
I'm hitting disadvantage. Can we sleep first?
Doma.
You're
has-
at level 2. You still have disadvantage even if you're level 1, man.
Despite
I know.
Doma's infernal heritage, he still is humanoid. He would have blue. Thoric even has blue. Ikal has blue. You would, I think I mentioned before. Ikal's highways are incredibly well refined.
Overflowing with ki.
Yeah, your master of ki has made these highways be super efficient. It's remarkable like how little bleeds off naturally in your system.
I just want me to do a sweep, I guess. I ended up getting like a 16 in total.
Okay, with disadvantage.
You did.
Yes, with disadvantage.
Damn.
I rolled good thing because I rolled really bad with advantage in my spectacles. I rolled 5+4. I rolled a 9.
Oh no.
Well, so Baldric, you would not see it. You see it. Evelyn has an unusual core for sure. She does have the highway, but there is this cluster of orbs around. So normally your core is kind of just like a singular shape, like one shape by itself, either like oval or usually it's circular in design, but it could be like kind of triangular, but with rounded corners. It depends on the person theoretically, and usually it actually morphs around into multiple shapes. It's fluidic, I guess. But Evelyn's is unusual, and it is a cluster of several orbs like jammed together, kind of like an atom. If you imagine an atom, just imagine these very vibrant orbs, and these orbs actually have energy discharging in between them, similar to like Roderick with his like these little purple like electrical flares. But these ones seem very intense and almost chaotic in there. But because of your expertise in medicine, you would have seen this before. This would be a sorcerer. A sorcerer has cores like this. You would know this, Baldric, regardless. Okay, she's a sorcerer. I mean, you've seen her cast magic, but that's where her magic comes from. And there's usually some kind of weird, unusual heritage involved with that, potentially extraplanar. But you don't get any hints of what else with it. Oh, but Roderick, you barely meet it. As you stare, you see the core that occasionally the blue spark that goes between the orbs in her core, every now and then one of them is green. It's really hard to see it because blue and green are very close in the spectrum, but you swear one of them is just a little bit more, has a little bit more yellow into it, and so it pushes it into the green spectrum.
Interesting. Please share that with me, please. Please share that with me.
So Evelyn's is mostly the same too, except there's a little. You see like a spark of green come off occasionally.
What are you talking about? I don't see this. I just see the.
You still don't see it. Still don't see it. Unfortunately, I'm not going to let you change.
Can I technically guide him at that point?
I can't let a million rolls.
That's fine.
So your eyes might be like starting to blur from overstrain.
I didn't get any sleep. I need my sleep. All right.
So quick like glance over for the rest of the party, I guess.
So Akal is in amazing shape. He's blue.
Okay, yeah.
Thorak, you said, was blue,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
yeah,
Thorak does have mana, though, right?
Yep.
Well, actually, all living creatures have mana, so
All living creatures have mana, but you can recognize that Thorak has the ability to cast spells. There's a difference. Usually, creatures that don't have the ability to cast spells, their system has like energy just kind of wafting off, like it bleeds out in very inefficient methods. And you, your doctor, you would know that you've seen martial artists that have unawakened ki. They can effectively make their mana similar to a caster, but it's very precise, like on how their mana flows. So you can recognize the kind of discipline that the party has by engaging these pipes in their system.
And what's Doma look like then?
Doma's blue, a normal humanoid blue.
Okay. What about Pyrus?
Well, she would be blue.
Okay.
I'm gonna use the same perception check that you gave previously. I don't want a million of them. This is your general perception right now, right? You, Baldric, she's blue. Sorry.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm seeing a trend here, and it doesn't back up my research. Yes. I still think we need to try to get to a source of this celestial energy. And her vessel's so large. The interesting thing is that her vessel doesn't recharge through normal means. She must.
I mentioned to Doma that a while back that if I could reconnect with my my benefactor, that much like you're saying, that would probably help. Maybe. I don't know how I can necessarily establish my connection with her again.
Would we need to go to a holy place or something?
My hometown.
Do you serve a god? Is that what you're saying?
Whatever would be closest, closest to her, would maybe
A
help.
literal god? Do you serve a literal god?
So, as you know, I'm not from your plane, and
Yes.
Yes, I'm an agent of the divine that was
Molly.
sent here for reasons, and I have a charge, and I have siblings that also had a charge, and things happened, and eventually led to me being. She looks at Thorax, squinting. Eventually led to me being imprisoned for a period of time, and then these individuals, and she gestures to Evelyn, Roma, and Roderick. They helped us.
Insight.
Go and make an
What
insight.
insight out of her.
Go make an insight roll.
Your power.
No, we haven't had
I
the
don't
first one
trust
either.
her for a second. That's a 16.
Well, you obviously tell. You can clearly tell she is avoiding topics, right? But she's not. But what she's saying is carrying truth. But she's obviously stepping away and avoiding landmines. It's clear as day.
No,
So, wait, I forgot what her conversation was. Shit, what was her last sentence?
you met Doma
gets him
and
out.
Party.
We saved her
Right,
from
and
a prison.
That obviously
Yeah.
is definitely true. She did. She was imprisoned, it seems, or some kind of an imprisonment, and she was, and these individuals freed her. That was only a couple of months ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And I was, well, okay. While there, I felt my my jailer forcefully removed my life, I guess mana, you could say, to prevent me from resisting. Every day, endlessly for. They know. She throws a hand dismissively for millennia. Like that. My kind, it might be hard to believe, but my kind is, normally is immortal. We don't die. We gain ourselves from our direct parent. We feed off of them. And in this prison, I was having it constantly drained so maybe this is a remnant of that experimentation of why he was taking all that away for all that time. I don't know, but I mean, I felt like when I was back on the surface with you all, that I felt like I was getting stronger and restoring to myself. And then, of course, what happened at the lake, ever since then, things have just been downhill.
What happened at the lake? Wait, what's this critical moment that happened at the lake?
What?
I was just gonna ask her to walk you through, because she seemed to be okay up until that point.
What happened?
But in that moment, Anya, you did speak with someone, I believe. Is that who you need to reconnect with?
I don't know if I should be talking about. Again, we talked about this before. This is stuff that's very dangerous to share with you.
Okay, well, let's just tell him about the lake at least.
If I may, we really need to have this in-depth conversation next to the bodies and the burning building.
Yeah, oh my goodness, yes, it's been like 15 minutes, oh my
No,
goodness.
it's been way more than 15 minutes. You guys are like 30 minutes since that decision made, right?
Don't get me wrong, I very much more want to explore this avenue of discussion, because I have yet to give my input in the roots of my people. They use primal magic, and they could potentially give better insight than I could. I wish I could help with this conversation, but being a leaf like I am, we were important to our society, and I was once told that as a leaf, my use the term mana is more refined, and the roots are able to tap into it and use it per se.
Got you.
But
Oh, so so your society's built like a tree. There's leaves, there's branches, there's like other.
I believe we've had this conversation before.
Think
did
we
not?
have,
There's
but
so
for
many ones.
Baldric's
No.
sake.
Just right. We
Okay.
we will discuss this later. Shall
Well,
we?
I think
You are
we
right.
should. Yeah.
I think you're right. We need. I think I have a general hypothesis of what we need to do, and us standing around here isn't actually helping her. DM. So I've only been with her for a few days, but she's been getting worse, right? Even from me being here, right?
That's you haven't
Subjective.
her energy is so minute. It's so hard to see any change in it. So no, you have not recognized if there is a worse. But
How long ago?
But you
Okay.
can hypothesize that that she has been declining. She says she's been feeling worse. So
Okay, very well, very well. You don't have to tell me what happened at the lake. That's fine. Too much information. I get it. How long ago was the lake incident?
Ooh.
2
I imagine that
months
as
ago.
you say that, it call probably kind of like gestures like, let's get away from the burning house and the bodies that you guys didn't dig a grave for.
Well, it would have been. I mean, we were in Medan for 2 months, so at least probably over a month ago,
Yeah, but
roughly.
Can we get that shovel? Well, let's bury the bodies and then we'll
Okay.
actually let's move.
Well, not unlike the present. I'm quite curious about this as well.
Well, we can talk while we bury the bodies. How about that?
So who has a shovel?
Let me check my inventory.
I used Mage Hand to just start digging.
It's hard ground. Your mage hand.
Just like a noble
along.
woman. Just like a noble
She
woman.
moves
doesn't
a
wanna get actual
rock.
blood on her
I'm
hands.
helping. One else.
Damn
Oh,
straight.
I have an herbalism kit. Awesome.
I also have an
there a
herbalism
shovel
kit.
in a bag of holding? Actually, is there a shovel in that bag of holding?
There's 2 bag of holdings in the group, Baldric and Doma.
I don't have one.
I actually found all the contents to mine on my laptop, so that's lovely.
But I don't.
So,
I don't
so
think
Doma is
any of
different?
you have a shovel. I don't think.
I
The
don't.
shovel?
one who
have
would
a
most
shovel.
likely have a shovel would be a call because he got swindled, but he didn't buy a shovel. I'm almost positive. I don't think you have a shovel.
Unless there's one. Is there? There's not a shovel in an explorer's pack, so no.
No.
I could have sworn I bought one, but I don't have it written.
If it's
so
not written, I have
I'll
to,
just throw it away.
assume you don't have it, unfortunately. So,
Yeah, I don't have it.
there's-
Okay,
There's
so
a limit
if
of
that's
like
the
we have
case-
to kind of move on, and all right, we don't have it.
All right, I'll just
So let's just go then.
Use this piece of shit.
So I mean, you don't have a great tool to dig. Which I mean, yeah, you could use your weapons and damage your weapons, and that would take
If it
forever.
comes down to it, we could just burn the bodies.
Sure.
Going back into the fire, Jesus, people.
Into the fire with you.
Oh man.
Where are the morals in this group?
Just throw them back in the fire.
Either way, which way they will return to the
Morals
earth.
have always been questionable.
Yeah, let's do something quickly, and then we can be on our way. So I guess
Start gathering wood.
There's burning
just throw them
buildings
on the fire.
still.
Throw them on the
still
goddamn
there.
fire at this point. Okay.
Throw them on again. I'm not.
Now, I'll
Use my carpentry to
retell
make a nice little
two
cross.
individuals have specific customs that would note something differently. Akal and Doma. I wouldn't say it's sacrilege to burn a body, but your like ancestry and religious heritage know that your backgrounds would prefer a body to decompose naturally to help new life spur. Burning a body removes that chemical exchange and it just ruins that potential. So there is going to be a technical conflict of like, well, ethically, how should we approach this, right? So you two would know that the way normally we dispose of a body would be burial, and if you can't bury, then let it just rot, let creatures eat it, and I mean that might be not these two people's customs, but so.
What about her? I point to Pyrus. She can shapeshift. Does she? Maybe a giant badger or a mole of some sort.
That's a great idea. I can do that. 1 second, and she becomes a giant badger, and yes, and the problem is solved. And in very limited time, let's say 10 minutes.
Ta-da!
Bam,
Yes,
two
Waldred does
graves
it again
two
with the
graves.
help of Pyrus.
I forgot she was there. I'm sorry.
I call feeling bad that Pyrus is doing all the work. Pops out his claws and get to digging as well.
So yes, 10 minutes later, the graves are dug, and
while they're digging, I'm gonna go over to Roderick. All right, then I changed my mind. I don't think we should be chasing after those people. Her prognosis is so grim. I think we're gonna have to find some sort of rare source of mana, and I don't know. I have to plane walk or something. I've heard of such
Maybe.
spells. I don't know of any of these, but
I know the prominent church of who she serves.
more info. Who does she serve? What?
I'm not
What do you mean
gonna
you're from?
divulge that. It's where I'm from is where the temple is. Her god walked the earth there.
he mentioned this earlier. And this is the holy Jerusalem of the world, Vanir, which is southeast of more than a week and a half travel away, or more than a week travel away from Windheim proper, southeast. Now something kind of valley. I think it's called the Glimmering Vale. Is the lore, and even with your +5 intelligence, you would know default religion. Vanir, supposedly the goddess Venahira, what are her titles?
Goddess of life.
Lightbringer.
Sorry, let me just make sure I'm fact checking it right. So yeah, the Ween goddess, the life giver, the great matron. These are her 3 main titles. She has others too. She descended from the heavens to help prevent some calamity. And ever since that ground is like permanently consecrated, some kind of everlasting change from her touching soil.
She serves Venahira.
Now, to say Vanir has many different religions, all the pantheon gods have temples there, but it is heavily tied to Venahira.
Even as I've been living under a rock my entire life, would I know about Vanir?
Religion check. So Vanir's lawn predates the closing the Great Gate. You might know actually. So if you can give me a religion check, you can actually possibly know this.
What's Thorak? Is this Thorak's first roll?
No, it's a second. Oh, that's an unnatural 20.
You have
Nice.
heard of Vanir. You know it. You do have a religious background, if I recall correctly. So yes, you know of this. You know the fable that comes with it, whether it's true or not. Whatever
Of course
happened.
not.
Of course
You
not.
can only roll that when you're.
Or if it did
You can only roll
happen,
that when
if it did happen, then it was probably for some self-motivated reason, not for the denizens of the planet.
Right, so she says fucking Vanir. Great.
But you have heard of it. Drablor has a temple there, as do all of the main pantheon.
Yeah, the
How
four gods.
ironic. The servant of the life giver is dying, huh?
I just like how a tiefling popped up in that city.
Strange forces seem to be at play here. I think that we need to get her over there.
What's up?
Reconfirming real quick, the 4 gods that were main in Karat was Valad, Jalzin, Drabalor, and Marlesh, correct?
Damn, God.
Okay, let me. Sorry.
Valash's temple has fallen into ruin.
You guys are wow. We're just super. If I realized we would have had this kind of conversation, we would have had to go on a hiatus. Oh my god.
How do you spell Giselle again?
It's Jalzem would be.
Jalzem.
Karat. Okay, so we had.
That's
Okay,
the
Pillar of
6th.
Light, Drabalor, Valad,
Yep.
Jalzem, and Marlesh. Jalzem is spelled
Okay, I was correct.
Jalzem. And then
J-
Drabalor,
L.
Jalzem. And then Drabalor, Drabalor. Valad, Velad. And then Marlesh is also a servant at one of the pillars in Karat. And Marlesh, Marrlesh.
Those are the main 4 there.
Those are the main 4 in Karat.
In Karat, yes. The
yeah.
pantheon is almost universally known, right? Almost universally. You can say your character's more secluded or related to a specific one, but yeah, in Karat, those are the 4 main deities that people are akin to or feel the most connection with, that they would still know of Venahira. Most of this, if you're religiously trained, you would know of Venahira, you would know of Eleanor, even if they don't have direct temples there. The gods have many myths and stories that intertwine one another. There's supposedly like a relationship that involves them into some capacity. They have history, right? It's like Greek pantheon, like Zeus and Hades and what's Zeus's wife's called?
Hera.
Yeah, like these gods are related, and so there's all these stories involving them.
Persephone.
Yeah,
Yep.
thank you. So,
Well, now that we have buried the bodies, shall we get moving and we can continue this discussion?
Yes.
Is Windheim out of the way of Veneer?
How many horses do we have?
Windheim,
We
from
lost
where you are
3.
now, Windheim would be on the way to Veneer, actually.
Okay, then. That works out great.
You have to head like simply south and a little east, and Veneer is southeast of Windheim.
I think we bought 7 horses, and then he summoned Artax,
Vortex, yeah.
and then we lost
It's
3.
supposed to be
of it.
Vortax, but I heard it Bortax with a B, and then that's what his name changed to, Doma Cave.
It's a never-ending story reference, damn it.
So
But so either way,
I need to avoid
you guys do not have
7
enough
minus 3, we
steeds.
have 4. We have 5. We have 5 steeds.
Yeah, you don't have enough to quickly travel there. How do you try to double up, which might not be good for the horse, or
Windheim's a day away, right?
about a day away.
Yeah.
Would Vortex be able to handle something like that? He's stronger than a normal mount, isn't he?
I think he is. I think he's equivalent like a war horse, right? So he would potentially be able to carry 2 people. You would still have your parties of 7 individuals. One person would be loose.
I could walk without an issue.
So you can run faster than most horses.
He can sprint as fast basically as a horse, but he can't sprint 100 fucking miles. He'll die from cardiac arrest. Look, your native walking speed, it's like your default 30. That's it. Like, I mean, God.
No, I mean, my walking speed's 45, sir.
All right, you're still slower. I mean, you're going to be a little slower. All right, I get it.
Yeah,
But,
slower.
Is that slower? Is that slower than a
Yeah,
horse?
a horse is 60.
Oh, it's just barely slower.
yes, Kyle.
We can still go fast if you walk.
How many hours are in a day's travel?
Oh, it's like I think 10, about 10.
Yeah.
8 to 10, basically.
All right, so let's talk about logistics then. We are now having a very sense of urgency. I, through the great powers of the arcane, can shapeshift one of us for 3 hours into a creature that could carry another person via a spell called polymorph, if you've ever heard of it. And that could expedite us a bit, but that's only...
I also can do. I can change myself into a bird that flies incredibly fast.
Yeah, you just change yourself into a badger. We saw that, yes.
Wait, yeah, she can. She can change herself into bird. She's above 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can do that twice in between short rests. So we could travel in jets. We might not be able to make it there immediately. It would be possibly, but still faster than walking at the pace of one of us not on a creature.
Yeah, so could you do that?
Sure.
One of us lighter ones would get aboard you. If you were, say,
Yeah,
transform
I
into
can
a
definitely
horse or an elk.
carry. Would anyone like to fly? It's very invigorating.
I vote Anio.
All right, so we have... Well, so what's the logistics here? She's turning into a bird and carrying who? I mean, who here is light? Now, I look
She
around.
looks at a call. She looks at a call. She looks at a call. I wouldn't mind helping you get there faster.
That sounds like an excellent... It's you.
Sure, it seems that this would be the best option.
And if something more bad were to happen where you would fall, you look very strong, like you could not take serious harm from such a height.
Yes, I am quite good at falling from a further distance than normal.
Yes, because cats always land on their feet.
I don't understand that.
It's a waste of a joke.
Oh,
Fine.
well,
You'll be good. You'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Doctor approves. All right, that takes care of 2 horses. We need to think of one more, right? Wait,
Well,
what's our party size
I think
again?
that covers
that's
everyone.
it.
Pyrus
Oh.
carrying one other person covers your. Wait.
Pyrus can do...
You had
how
three-
are
you had three
let's
dice.
do a
That's 2
Doma.
people gone.
Yeah, Aniel bunkers on with Doma. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Or
And how long
Thor
does
bunkers with
the shape-
Doma.
But this is shape only lasts an hour?
Oh no, shapeshift lasts
The
half
level.
of your level rounded down, I believe.
Oh,
So
awesome!
She can go 4 hours and then go another
For 4 hours.
Let's double check. But
Yeah.
you
At
just
least we'll be
know,
closer.
Potato, because you
You
have a
can
lot of
definitely
druid.
basically make it there.
Get it.
I could look it up. I was hoping maybe your Nyx exposures reminded you how long it goes.
I am pretty sure I think it's a third, maybe? It's a number like that.
I think it's half.
Some arbitrary
Have you
weird
spell level?
number.
When you transform, you assume to be hit points. For example, as long as it has your game statistics, your creature length. Single level. Okay, you druid determines beast shape. You transform to. You can stay in the beast shape a number of hours equal to half your druid level rounded down. You then revert to your normal form unless you expend another use of the feature. So she can go 4 hours because you guys are 9, and then another 4 hours. She can do almost the full travel, and then needed she can do a hour rest and then do another 8 hours, right?
So
But
we could theoretically
obviously,
get there.
you guys still need to do breaks and eat, even regardless, right? So part of there's going to be a break in there anyways. But yes, so that would
We would be able to get there without the delay because we would be resting anyway.
yeah, effectively.
Yeah.
She covers 2 of you, and if Bortax can handle Anion, which you have Fine Steed, right? Is the name of the spell? Yeah. Okay, sorry. Let's just cover the logistics fully in hyper detail to make sure it's a strong. I think it's a warhorse. I think
It's
it
a
is.
fine steed, yeah.
You summon a spirit that summons.
Oh, there's the
It's a loyal steed,
Oh,
creating
no.
blah, blah, appearing in the occupied space. The steed takes the form of your choice. A warhorse, a pony, a camel, an elk, or a mastiff. I mean, so it would be an elk statistics. Oh God, why I feel like I'm this. I just want. Yes, it works. I think it's fine.
There we go.
Just say it.
Now let's roll.
Yeah, F it. Vortex is special. He's a demon elk, so.
Yeah, demon elk.
Yeah, he's like fiery, like his hooves gonna burn off into fire almost. Okay.
Excellent. Then we can get to their post haste and try to.
Now you're
Rest.
You guys are using riding horses. Elk is slightly slower. Elk is at 50 feet, but you guys have been. Your calculation stays the same. Whatever. I'm really. That's not even as complicated. Thank God. You're fine. You can make it. You have the means to get there in your next day. Without. Dang, I should have killed more horses with those Iptons.
Ride.
You tried, but my rocks took care of them.
He says to the voice in the sky. All right, so as you guys recognize, you guys woke up in the middle of your not rest. You are tired, and it's still night. And you just buried 2 people. Was there anything you wanted to say to them, or you just went, all right, let's move on? Anything else?
I'll do a basic prayer from my church.
All right, so
leaving them to rest.
some rights are provided by Doma, to at least for his sake, and then you
I'll put
guys.
2 coins in their eyes.
Really? Do you put copper on their eyes?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Or-
lose
yeah.
4 copper coins. Make sure you have it. All right, and then you guys migrate. Let's say you move. How far you want to move away from the burning farm? Do you want to go back to your original camp, which was a 20-minute walk away?
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go back
Yes.
to your original camp. I assume. All right, help expedite. You assume.
We put out the fire though, didn't we? Someone summoned a bunch of water, I think, to squelch it.
Yes, Pyrus did. You're right. So the fire is gone,
Yeah.
but there was still simmering. You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
The site is still there.
I forgot.
No, for sure.
I
yeah.
forgot about that. Thanks. But nonetheless,
It's not remembered.
You make back to your original camp. You spend the 30 minutes to get back there. You guys establish a watch because you were just attacked by Ipton for failing to do that the night before. I assume. I don't need to know who it happens to be, unless there's anything else you want to do tonight. We can move on to the next day.
I don't think so.
Great.
Next day.
All right. Perfect opportunity to take a short break because I got to
All right.
freaking
Yeah,
pee.
this exhaustion, right?
One
Okay, one
last
level.
exhaustion, yes.
Back to one.
You do complete
Let's
the
go.
long
Get back.
rest. You do complete the long rest. What? Potato. I gotta pee.
Break?
What's up?
A break?
He's doing the PB dance. He needs a break.
Well, potato.
Just go.
Potato.
We come back. We'll talk.
Potato. If you want to stop here, that's your choice. How long have we been playing?
Oh, we're late. Oh my
Like
gosh.
for 5 hours.
It's
That's-
10 hours.
Yeah. It's your guys' choice. Where do you want to stop? I guess.
Oh.
God, we got nowhere. We didn't get to Windheim.
I want to keep playing, but I have things I need to do.
Yeah.
Where's
Okay.
your responsibilities?
So
We get to Windheim level
you
10.
guys are at the same exact spot almost. So you
we are, yeah.
bunker down, you set up your watch, and you go to sleep. And we know Dang, all that writing the last 3 days to cram it in.
Still there for you.
You're welcome.
I told you we weren't gonna probably
Wow,
get there.
this is not what I was expecting.
You're welcome.
I know that we delayed the episode with our rehash, but all right. Then, gosh, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Oh my God, it's 2 weeks away.
2 weeks.
Doesn't have to be.
Well then, yeah, we will stop.
Wait, someone's got a... I thought someone had a job where they couldn't possibly make it. Wasn't that
next
someone...
week? Someone can't. A call could not play next week.
Okay.
Right.
So we shouldn't play without him then.
Yeah, that's why we're doing every other week. It's 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks from now, not this.
Oh, someone was just saying that, like, it doesn't have to be every other.
Oh, right.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
I brought that up earlier.
Shit.
We can talk about that in post the session. Turn off the stream. So
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, all the viewers, for hanging out with us. Thank you for the new follows, the sub from Owl. Thank you for players coming back. Thank you for tuning in to our continuation of Arkelya with episode 36. Not where I expected it to go, but 2 weeks from now we will pick up, back up, and actually probably make it to Windheim. So
I think we need to talk some more.
It's okay, Lars. You have another city to design now.
Well, Dominus, thanks for being here, man. And if you want to see other content, you can check the YouTube channel. But regardless, that will be where we're closing. So everyone, from here, from Don't Trust the Dungeon Master, have a great...
Awesome.
What a call.
Don't forget, he has a YouTube channel with all these episodes, well, most of them, available for you to catch up in the exciting world of Arkelya and the adventures of Baldric and Co., also known as the Heartseekers.
Right, that would be youtube.com/life15. Okay, anyways, so, and from all of us at Don't Trust the Dungeon Master, have a great weekend. See you in 2 weeks, and remember, don't trust the Dungeon Master. Good night.
Night.
Oh, how dare you.